Welcome to the Does This Happen to You podcast, where we explore the funny side of truth is stranger than fiction stories. Our story this week is from Josh Porter, who you'll find on medium.com. And here is, I got mauled by an anti-poaching dog in Zimbabwe. I made it 10 steps before the Belgian Malinois hit me at full speed, biting down hard on my arm. "Good girl!" shouted Leonard, her handler. She pulled me in circles, salivating wildly and sending vibrations through the reinforced sleeve with every growl. "I thought you said she would pull me over," I said with a cheeky grin, looking at the anti-poaching ranger. This was a mistake. "Shinga's still young," he replied, wrenching her powerful jaws off my arm. "Let's do Murphy next." Leonard gestured to a black dog, far larger than Shinga, watching us from behind the wire mesh fence, her amber eyes burning with desire. She knew what happened when the handlers took out the padded jacket. Someone was about to get mauled. If I had taken the hit from Shinga and allowed my knees to buckle, we would have the shot and our filming with the canine team would be finished. Because of my bone-headed pride, I was about to face down with a hound from hell. Leonard took Shinga back to her enclosure, nestled deep in the heart of Zimbabwe's Imiri Game Reserve, and released Murphy. He took his eyes off her for a second, and she leapt at me. There was no command or time to think. I spun around, and Murphy clamped her jaws onto the padded bit of the arm. Thank God. Instead of showing any concern, my filmmaking companions, Jasper and Evo, burst into laughter. "Bloody hell, she is not a fan of you!" The rangers, clearly shocked by Murphy jumping on me, acted fast to get her under control. Even without a run-up, this dog hit me like a rugby player. She was 40 kilos of muscle, and I was beginning to seriously regret volunteering to be her chew toy. The midday sun was beating down, and I was sweltering inside the thick jacket. There was tension in the air for this next run. The laughs and smiles of the rangers for the first attempt had been replaced with furrowed brows. They wanted to see me get ragdolled. It would look better on camera. I gave a defeated look to my two friends, who responded with a pair of thumbs up and heard the cry of "Ready!" The brown grass rustled gently in front of me in the midday wind as sweat trickled into my eyes. "Go!" came the cry from behind. And there was no faking it this time. I sprinted as fast as I could towards the bush. My frantic strides turned into gallops as the grass became longer, and I knew the impact was coming. Bang! From the video footage, you would think Murphy had been shot out of a cannon. She had leapt from 2 meters back and judged her jump to perfection. Her whole body flew through the air, level with my shoulders, and her teeth clamped down on my outstretched arm. There was no standing up this time. To be perfectly honest, I think I could have stayed on my feet, but I had no idea what other demon hounds they had lurking in the shadows. She dragged me through the scrub whilst I shouted, "No!" in high-pitched yelps. Leonard gave her plenty of time to pull my terrified body squealing through the bushes. Finally, she was pulled away, and my friends propped me back on my feet. "Well, how was the shot?" I asked, red-faced and puffing hard. "It was great. She wanted to murder you." Leonard smiled as he plucked the jacket off me and asked if we needed any other shots. My initial reaction was to shake my head violently, but our entire mission of traversing Africa on 3 wheels was to raise money for wildlife rangers. We could squeeze a few more shots out of the canine unit. I bit my lip and looked at the battered old tuk-tuk that we had driven across the continent for the past 8 months. Do you think you could take her on patrol in that?" Leonard did not have to be told twice. He revved the 8-horsepower engine and called Shinga, who hopped in as if she had spent her whole life protecting wildlife from the back seat of a tuk-tuk. We filmed the pair poodle around the park until Shinga was ordered to search the area and flew from the back seat. The term badass is seldom used to describe a Piaggio tuk-tuk, but that was what sprang to mind as I watched the Belgian Malinois pounce from the moving vehicle. What a day, I thought as I rolled my shoulder joint to ease the complaining tendons. To wrap it up, we needed to have a quick interview with Leonard, and then we could head back to our campsite for the evening. The interview location was the front seat of an old Land Rover that the K9 unit used when on patrol. Leonard sat behind the steering wheel and was promptly joined by the energetic Shinga, licking his face and mouthing at his hat. Leonard chuckled, whilst trying to shove her into the passenger seat so he could be interviewed. These two had a special bond. The interview highlighted the importance of using dogs for conservation. The Imiri Game Reserve has seen real tragedy. In 2007, poachers wearing rangers' uniforms broke in and gunned down the sleeping rhinos before hacking off their horns. The rhinos that were killed had already been dehorned to prevent them from being a target, so they just chopped off what was left and ran. Shinga and Murvi have been brought in to ensure this doesn't happen again. They give the wildlife rangers a crucial edge in the ongoing battle between poachers and conservation. We all know about Africa's wildlife, the lions, elephants, and giraffes. What gets less time in the sun are stories like Shinga and Leonard, the boots and paws on the ground, helping the wild stay wild. Thanks for listening. I'm Chris Kepler, and I hope you enjoyed listening to these stories as much as I enjoyed narrating them. I'd love for more people to hear these wonderful stories, so please share and tell your friends.